Start taking callers. Bill, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Good. I find it pretty interesting watching your show and basing most of your topics on the theory of evolution.
Well, that was my decision a few months ago to spend a lot of time on this topic since it comes up so frequently by the callers anyway.
Right. Well, my comment was that basing emotions, love, hate, etc., on the theory that we evolved from some one-celled living organism when the Earth was created by some giant bang, that emotions have some kind of relationship to that is a stretch.
Why?
Did I not explain it well?
Well, what you explained was based on genes that we pass on from person to person, that somehow those genes have some type of emotional code in.
No.
I'm sorry. If I got that impression across, then I should have explained it better.
Right. Yeah, because basically I don't see the link between emotions and evolution.
The genes make up who you are, and part of your emotional responses is based on who you are, how your brain's wired together, what kind of brain you have, how you process information. Those things are a real part of us at the genetic level. That doesn't mean you're not still taught certain things and you don't still react to certain things. But
right.
Some of your reactions and some of your emotions are hard-coded at the gene level.
For instance, earlier
and
when
some of them are maybe, but most of them are learned behavior.
Okay, demonstrate that.
Well, I mean, for instance,
learned behavior?
Emotions aren't learned behavior for the most part. I mean, earlier I was talking about putting your hand on a hot stove and jerking your hand back. And that requires that requires brain functioning to actually make the movement that gets your hand off the stove. But you don't.
And you experience the emotion of pain.
Right.
Which is, then of course that's not learned behavior, right?
I guess it would be correct to say that basically you don't control your emotions, but you do control on an intellectual level how you deal with those emotions. And so there are two different things at play here.
That's true. I agree with that.
And the learned part basically, the learned part is basically teaching you how to deal with, how to utilize, and how to take advantage of the emotions that you already possess. So the cultural influence on you, the way the society you're raised in, the type of people you're raised around, will have an effect on who you end up loving and what type of person you end up loving. But your ability to love is something that is genetic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Great.
Right. And but I still wonder how you link that genetic those emotions to evolution.
Hang on.
We throw in a new emotion like hate, and prior to that we never had the hate, and then all of a sudden, as
I put you on hold. I didn't hang up. It's really frustrating. You just agreed.
We always clarify that there's a problem with the phones that makes it hard for the callers to hear us when they're talking.
Yeah, and it's insanely frustrating because I'm having the same problem with the new device that we just got, which is based on this, but it's not supposed to happen. You just agreed that the possession of these emotions is genetic. And now you're saying, but you don't understand how that relates to evolution. The passing on of genes is all evolution is about. I mean, I don't see where the problem is.
Well, the problem is evolution is a theory. We can both agree on that, correct?
Okay, it depends.
Can you explain what you think the word theory means?
Theory means somebody comes up with an idea that they think is a good idea, and that the way things are working as they know it and that is a theory.
No.
Well, there's a lot that you left out when it comes to scientific.
Well, I mean, I
theories.
didn't want to go through a whole class of evolution.
It's real simple.
Of a theory, but I mean, basically, you have, you know, a theory is, you know, the evolution is a theory. I mean,
Evolution.
we can all agree on that.
No, no, we won't all agree. Hang on just a second, because we need to get a link up. We need to get a link up to notjustatheory.com. Because first of all, evolution is a fact. It is an observation that's demonstrable. Now, you can go on with the theory thing.
And what you've described to some extent is a hypothesis, which is basically, in scientific terms, a hypothesis is when you come up with an idea, you haven't tested it, you don't know if it's true or not. A theory in science is basically a well-tested framework which has been confirmed repeatedly and has survived a lot of scientific scrutiny.
It is the highest possible achievement of science, a theory.
Right, and there's a misunderstanding that theory means something that's not a fact yet, which is not true. Theories and facts are different kinds of things. Facts are things that are observed, but theories are frameworks that explain the observed facts to the best possible abilities of the current scientific research. And in that sense, yes, evolution is a theory. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah,
Okay.
but in the same sense, you know, if you're talking like that, the fact that we were created with order and design, that's a fact.
No, it's not.
I'm afraid not.
Sure it is. I mean, even the new evidence of how a gene is not just some one-celled organism that
That's
nothing
not
else.
new evidence. That's been known for a long time. It still
it's
fits
not,
in
it's
with
not been known.
evolutionary
Matter of
theory.
fact, the lady who had just recently proven that within a gene there's multiple machines that do jobs like push things around and pick up things and kill things, and each machine is designed for a specific use within that one
I'm
cell.
objecting to your use of the word design,
Me
which
too.
is an assumption.
You're claiming that the fact that we are designed and this is a fact. And I'm saying, no, it's not a fact, and no matter how many times you assert it, doesn't make it a fact. The true observation is that within the cell, there are chemical machines that perform functions. From that, you cannot infer design. You need to demonstrate design. So creation is not a fact.
Sure, just like
No, it's
evolution
not.
is not a fact.
No, evolution, the fact that things
Creation
change,
isn't
is a
even
fact.
a theory, is the point.
Creation
Things
isn't a
might adapt, okay, but
Creation is not a fact. It's not a theory. It barely qualifies as a hypothesis. You're asking the wrong questions. The fact that we exist does not demonstrate that we were, in fact, designed by higher intelligence. That's something you have to prove and not simply assert.
well, nobody has proved evolution, and you guys want.
No. Evolution is an observable fact. The theory of evolution is the best scientific explanation that fits that fact, and it's accepted. You're trying to claim that we were created and this is a fact. It's not. You need to demonstrate that, and you can come up with a theory, as people like Dembski or Behe have, about intelligent design. The problem is that when these guys come up with these theories, they just don't hold water. They don't prove anything. They come up with irreducible complexity, and yet at every turn when they say, oops, this is irreducibly complex, somebody comes along and shows how it's not.
But the Finch that was that started the whole evolutionary theory.
Actually, and I'll let you get back to it, but evolution was hypothesized long before Darwin, way back in
Darwin
ancient
only
Greece.
came up with a mechanism which turned out to have stood up to scrutiny.
The ancient Greeks had already hypothesized that we were descended from earlier organisms. But go ahead.
It might have been before Darwin, but it was never considered such a serious religion until Darwin.
It's
It's
never
not a
been
religion
considered
now.
a serious religion.
It's not a religion now, and this time I did actually hang up on you. Because if you're going to come on here having no knowledge of what we're actually discussing and having a significant failure of understanding with regard to what a scientific theory is, and make claims that evolution is just a theory, creationism is a fact, evolution is a religion, you don't get any more time on the show. Sorry. visit Talk Origins. The answer is there. You can feel free to email us, tv@atheist-community.org. I'll be happy to have a discussion with you. But you don't get to come on here and spread the footnote soundbite versions directly from the Discovery Institute that simply aren't true.
Right. I mean, you know, the reason, and I know we sometimes seem a little abrupt to people who haven't seen the show before, but if you go back and watch back episodes, you'll see that we address a lot of this stuff every week. Sometimes we have entire shows discussing, discussing that issue. And, you know, there's a certain amount of knowledge that, you know, that is just on such a basic level that sometimes we just wave people off to the fact.
Yeah, there's an FAQ up the website. You can go to www.atheist-community.org. For more information about evolution, you can go to talkorigins.org, where, I kid you not, every objection and every claim and every comment that he just said is addressed, and way, 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 way more. There's a good response to nearly any creationist claim. What you've done is you might as well have just come on here and said the earth is flat, this is a fact, and those who say that it's round just have a theory. You don't understand what scientific theories are. The theory of gravitation is a scientific theory. The fact that gravity exists, something we labeled as an attraction that bodies have, that's a fact. It's observable, and evolution's the same way. I highly recommend that you go to Not Just a Theory. It's either .org or .com. You'll find it. It's about 5 paragraphs. It's really short. It explains this in great detail, and I fail to see how anybody who reads something like that just couldn't get it.
Anyway, this is a problem with doing a multi-part series over 6 months because, you know, these are exactly the kind of issues that I talked about specifically in previous installments of my evolution talk.
Except that Bill has been watching for those and called during those as well. I'm pretty sure that Bill's seen this. He's just spouting whatever it is that he believes without doing anything or showing anything to support it.
But, I mean, you know, there's a misconception out there that there is some kind of scientific controversy over whether evolution happened or not. And the fact is, there's not.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people with a religious agenda who don't like the implications that evolutionary theory have for their religion. But within science, you know, within people who actually study biology, there is, I mean, all but a very, very, very tiny percentage of people actually recognize that evolution is the explanation for the diversity of life.
Hey, you're watching Atheist Experience. They've got new credits that pop up over our show on occasion. But there's a lot of conversation that goes on at the different events, and people are welcome to come down. If you're not interested in coming down, or if you don't get through on the television show, you can also email tv@atheist-community.org. That email goes to myself, the co-host, some of the people behind the scenes. And while we cannot promise to respond to everything, we will certainly try and read everything. And the reason that we can't promise to respond to everything is that the audio portion of this show, as well as the Nonprofits podcast, is available for download. And the video portion of this show is now being uploaded to Google Video. And we have evidently, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe 3 years worth of video that's already up there, and more on the way, which means now, excuse me, our audience is international, which is cool because I've gotten emails from all over the world and I've started marking them on a map, or I've claimed that I've started marking them on a map. Mostly I'm keeping notes so that I can mark them on that map. But so we love hearing from everybody. If you've got corrections or comments, feedbacks, criticism, ideas for show topics, ideas for show music, feel free to email tv@atheist-community.org. You can also...
Yeah, so you're saying not only are they multinational, but they're now intertemporal in the sense that they're writing to us from the past about shows that we did like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and that's a good point to mention. I've said a number of times that we're not only willing but happy to get information, corrections, and I'll correct anything that I've said in error on the show or an email or whatever else as we can. But don't write me about a show that happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and say, you said this and I think it's wrong, because while I'll happily discuss it, I have. I mean, there were some comments made about, you know, you said that In God We Trust didn't appear on money until the 50s, and I think that's not quite what I said, but in any case, it's not really worth going back in time to 2 years ago. But if you catch me within a couple weeks, we can correct it.
If I could go back in time to 2 years ago, correcting piddling little errors on a show wouldn't be my first course of action.
Yeah.
Investing in something would.
Oh, so you're just greedy.
Yes.
Okay. I guess we have to talk about that a little bit more on some other show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Assuming the studio doesn't crash and burn like it's done to us a couple times. We'll see you again next week. Take care.
Bye, everyone.